Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching from. I greet you all. I salute you from every location you are. I still remember my humble self. My reason of coming on this video at this moment is about what is actually happening in Nigeria leadership politics of today. The news is everywhere now and very clear that the issue in Rivers State has turned to another way, difficult and negative. Why do I put it this way? This issue now is no longer an affair concern people of the state, but it is now a political interest of particular people for their personal interests. What am I saying is the emergency declaration in Rivers State and the suspension of elected governor and his deputy, and also suspension of the elected House of Assembly members. To my own view, I have searched all the whole chapters in Nigeria Constitution, but there's no place I found that elected president of the nation has power or right to suspend an elected state governor without going through impeachment process. So what are we thinking? What are we talking about in this democracy of our time? Is that if you would say that this is not your state and this person is not your brother, or this position, it is not your position, remember, tomorrow is great. Whatever goes round will comes round. You might see yourself in that position tomorrow, and if you will continue allowing this incident to continue happening, it will become a tradition, because our people said when a thing becomes 1 year or more, it turns to become a tradition. I have been moving up and down in the social media and searching, and many people were saying it had happened before, that during Obasanjo, something like this happened in Ekiti State and somewhere in northern state, Plateau, if I may not mistaken. So I read how it happened, but at the end I found out that both of them happened truly, but before it took place, both of them passed through House of Assembly and different issues. The other one has to do with consuming life, killings, as in demolitions and fighting, rifts between Muslim and Christian in that state, which is Plateau State. Why the one that happened in Ekiti State happened to be a mismanagement of the public fund by the government in the seat there, precisely Ayode Parish. But this particular matter that warranted our president to issue emergency and suspension to the elected governor is quite different from the scenario that took place in the past. So let us be guided in this kind of matter. We don't just compare things that are very different in likely manner. There is no similarity between these scenarios. On this particular one in Rivers State is a political personal interest. because it happened that appointed minister in Abuja, SCT, Yes Wike, former governor of Rivers State, happens to having issue with governor of the state, Sim Fubara. Now, instead of government to caution his minister, he now withdraw, suspend elected governor, which been elected by the people of the state, not by appointment. My brother, my good people of Nigeria, I'm calling on this voice. I'm using my platform to say, let us be wise on how we are managing or overlooking matters, because the more we overlook this matter, the more it dig deep in our country and the more it destroy more things. So it is right time to challenge this and stop this, because if you say this does not happen in your state or does not concern you, tomorrow you might be a victim and you never know. And now all the governors has to speak out on this. Is not the normal way, because I read that there is a separation of power between federation and state. So it's uncalled for and unconstitutional for federal to dismantle a state elected governor. So let's be guided. Thank you, and may God bless you all.